My next guest is a celebrated journalist whose career took her to the other side of the world, but a desire to be a mom led to one of the biggest decisions she'd have to make: move home with no job, all for the chance to start her own family.
My name is Richelle Carey, and I'm an Emmy Award-winning journalist. In my career, I'm moving from city to city. Each job is better than the one before. While I was working as a journalist in New York, Al Jazeera gave me this wonderful opportunity in Doha, and I just assumed that my personal life would progress at the same rate. The biological clock, it is a real thing, and it got louder and louder once I hit my 40s. So I went and froze my eggs. IVF is a physically and emotionally taxing process. I knew that doing IVF was going to cost me a lot of money, and there was a very low chance that it would actually work. But because I was realistic, I was disappointed, but not devastated. Adoption was always something I was open to. I remember my agency sending me some information about a baby that for some reason I thought, okay, this might be it. When they picked a different family, it felt personal, like it's a rejection of you. Despite it not working out, I was absolutely sure it was going to happen. I just wasn't sure when.
Tam fam, please welcome Richelle to the studio. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You ended that message saying you were sure it was going to happen, and it did.
It did.
You adopted your son Avery last year.
I did.
There's Avery. Listen, I need to make a special request. Can we put this picture of Avery right here behind the big screen? Because I want to read what you said. If you told me that at 50 years old I would be a single mom living in my parents' guest house, I would think that I had screwed up my life. But actually, everything turned out perfectly, and that's why.
That
little nugget. Listen.
One day he's going to be mad at me for doing that.
Listen, I can just kiss that picture. Today is 1 year to the day that you met him?
Yep, to the first time that I actually laid eyes on him. And then 4 days later, I physically had custody of him. So yeah, 1 year.
You know, going back to the years of not being a mom, you traveled, you were all over the world, traveling internationally. Was there a tug at defining family as motherhood for you?
Yes. I thought I was progressive enough that I would say, you don't have to be a mom to have a family, because I truly, truly believe that. And some people are that way. Yeah. But I finally had to admit that for me personally, I really wanted to be a mom. I wasn't any less significant when I wasn't a mother, but that was the last piece that I really needed.
You decided to freeze your eggs at the time you were 43. How, because I know people will often ask us about our jobs and they make assumptions that you don't have a kid because you're selfish or that you don't want one. Meanwhile, you're going through this rigorous and painful procedure and you can't say anything really about her. You choose not to.
Right, choose not to.
And people are making assumptions about how you define family.
Absolutely.
That hurts. I've gone through that.
Yes,
so
and
I know how
people ask you questions, and like you said, it's the assumptions. Well, what's wrong with her? Or does she want a man? Like, what is the holdup? You know, she's having all this fun, but has she really arrived if she isn't married and has a child? Yeah, now fortunately, I didn't hear that from my family. I'm very, very blessed in that regard. It wasn't from my family or my close friends, but I think it's definitely a pressure that women get that men do not.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, the call Richelle had been waiting for, the news that made her big life decision worth it, but also how her family that she just referred to stepped in to help this dream of being a mom to Avery come true. A beautiful update after the break. Welcome back. I am talking with Emmy Award-winning broadcast journalist Richelle Carey about her road to family in the form of motherhood. Back before, though, little Avery came into your life, as we said, you were working in Al Jazeera, you were in Doha, Qatar, all around. And the first adoption didn't work out because the people wanted someone who was based there, and you were in the United States or were coming back to the United States. You quit your job
I did.
for family.
I did. I am a very structured person.
Yeah.
I need to know when my check is coming, et cetera, et cetera. It was a big deal for me to decide I am going to quit, not having anything lined up.
So you had nothing?
Wasn't even looking. I'm like, I'm just going home.
This is how you were gonna go for it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I had made this decision right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then when the pandemic happened, I'm like, yeah, it's just time to go home. So I did. And
You
when
are so brave, I'm gonna tell you.
I was nervous. I was anxious, but I felt like everything I had done in my life had gotten me to this point to be able to have choices and options. And I know everybody can't do that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I worked hard to get to that point, and I needed to lean in and do it.
You did. And then your family, Avery's with them right now.
Yes, yes.
They stepped in to help you at this point in your life that could have been, again, so
Yes.
disorienting because you've worked your whole life.
Yes, I agree. I was taking a risk, but to be honest, I was taking a risk with a supportive family.
Yeah.
And that made all the difference in the world. So yes, I am 50 years old living at home, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh my God. I mean, we can have a fantasized view of family, but how do you define it now? Or at least, how do you explain this huge risk that you took for family?
That it was absolutely worth it, that the timing is absolutely perfect. I am the poster child for late bloomers, all right? What's the rush? There.
Gosh, I can't with this kid.
Oh my goodness, yeah. People were like, "You're supposed to let him smash the cake." Okay.
Yeah.
And he went for it. But family is what you make it when you make it, not on anybody else's timeline. Not on anybody.
This is a beautiful family. Give your family my best.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Well.
Then we got to get a play date.
I know.
We're going to get Avery and Moses together.
Yes.
Thank you, Richelle. I'm so proud of you.